Imagine suddenly losing your job or facing a hefty medical bill. Could you cover these costs without going into debt? Welcome to today's Financial Lifeline, building out an emergency fund. This is not just about saving money, it's about creating a financial safety net for life's unexpected events. A well-stocked emergency fund serves as a buffer against financial hardships, keeping you afloat when the tide turns. Just like a life jacket in turbulent waters, an emergency fund is your first defense against life's unexpected storms. You might be wondering, why should an emergency fund top your financial priorities? Well, let's think about it. Life is unpredictable. You might face a sudden job loss, unexpected medical expenses, or urgent home repairs. In such situations, having an emergency fund can be a lifesaver. It's like a financial safety net that catches you when you fall, preventing you from sinking into debt or compromising your lifestyle. An emergency fund is more than just a pile of money. It's a cornerstone of financial security, providing a solid foundation upon which you can build your financial future. It ensures that even when life throws curveballs, your financial plan stays intact. So, before investing in stocks or saving for a vacation, focus on setting up your emergency fund. Because when it comes to personal finance, it's all about building from the ground up. It's crucial to put first things first, and an emergency fund should be at the top of your financial priorities. So, how much should you save in your emergency fund? This question often boggles the minds of many. The answer, however, isn't a one-size-fits-all. A general rule of thumb suggests that your emergency fund should hold 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. But this isn't a magic number that works for everyone. Consider your life situation. Are you the sole breadwinner caring for a family, or perhaps a young single professional just starting out? Do you work in a volatile industry where job security isn't guaranteed, or is your employment relatively stable? Each of these factors plays a role in determining the size of your emergency fund. Another aspect to consider is your monthly expenditure. If your monthly costs are high, you might need to save more. On the contrary, if your costs are low, a smaller emergency fund might suffice. The right amount for your emergency fund depends on your unique circumstances, your job stability, dependents, and other factors. Now that you understand the importance and size of an emergency fund, how do you actually build one? The process may seem daunting, but broken down into manageable steps, it's achievable for anyone determined to secure their financial future. Firstly, assess your monthly expenses. This includes everything from rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, transportation, and any other recurring costs. You might be surprised to see where your money is going, and this is the first step in understanding how much you'll need in your emergency fund. Secondly, set a realistic savings goal based on your monthly expenses. Remember, the general rule is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. But depending on your personal situation, you might need to aim higher, or you might be able to start with a lower target. Thirdly, create a dedicated savings account for your emergency fund. This is crucial. Your emergency fund should be separate from your regular savings or checking account to avoid the temptation of dipping into it for non-emergency expenses. Many banks offer high-yield savings accounts that can help your money grow over time. The fourth step is to automate your savings. This can often be done through your bank or employer. By automatically transferring a certain amount from each paycheck into your emergency fund, you're less likely to miss the money or be tempted to spend it elsewhere. It's a set-it-and-forget-it method that works wonders for consistent saving. Finally, monitor your progress and adjust as necessary. Building an emergency fund takes time, and it's important to celebrate your wins along the way. But also be prepared to adjust your plan if your financial situation changes. If you get a raise or pay off a debt, consider increasing your contributions. Conversely, if you hit a rough patch, it's okay to pause contributions until you're back on your feet. Remember, the key here is consistency. Keep monitoring your fund and adjust as necessary. The journey to financial stability isn't always easy, but with determination and a solid plan, you can build an emergency fund that stands ready to weather any storm. Building an emergency fund isn't without its challenges. Unforeseen costs, inconsistent income, or simply the allure of immediate gratification can all pose obstacles to your financial goals. But it's crucial to stay the course. Identify where you can trim expenses, perhaps by cancelling unused subscriptions or choosing home-cooked meals over dining out. Every penny saved brings you closer to your goal. When faced with fluctuating income, consider adopting a flexible savings plan. If your income dips one month, adjust your savings accordingly, but be sure to ramp it back up when things improve. Temptation to spend can be a formidable foe, but remember, the peace of mind that comes with having an emergency fund far outweighs the fleeting satisfaction of a non-essential purchase. Keep your eye on the prize and remember why you started saving in the first place. Now, let's talk about when to use your emergency fund. This fund is your financial safety net, set aside for unexpected essential expenses only. Think sudden car repairs, a medical emergency, or job loss. It's not for that shiny new gadget you've had your eye on, or a spur-of-the-moment vacation. To put it simply, your emergency fund is your parachute for when life throws you into freefall. It's a must-have, not a nice-to-have. Stay focused, cut unnecessary expenses, and remember, your emergency fund is for must-haves, not wants. Once you've built your basic emergency fund, what's next? Well, the journey doesn't stop there. The psychological benefits of having an emergency fund are immense. It can reduce stress, provide a sense of security, and give you the confidence to face life's unexpected storms head-on. But let's take it a step further. Consider diversifying your safety net. Beyond a high-yield savings account, look into other liquid assets. These could be short-term bonds or money market funds. They can serve as secondary buffers, enhancing your financial resilience. And remember, accessibility is key. Your emergency fund should be a balance between growth and quick access. You never know when you might need it, so make sure it's readily available when life throws a curveball your way. Building an emergency fund is about putting first things first. It's the bedrock of your financial stability. So start today and give yourself the peace of mind you deserve.